Hello, everybody. We made it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, we made it. Thank you, everybody. So you're asking how Pixie's doing. I was just about to type you, and I thought I'm just going to type it to you and just explain to you what's going on, which is also why I'm late today. Yesterday was beyond frustrating. Did my hair up, put a nice blouse on. I actually put makeup on. I don't do makeup because it actually irritates my skin. Even eyelash mascara, rather. See, I don't even remember the names anymore because it's been so long since I wear makeup. Even mascara, it was like my eyelashes were itchy last night. So anyways, so StreamYard was down, okay? Like was so frustrated because I'm like, okay, I'm doing it right, I'm posting and telling you guys a little way in advance. Get on StreamYard, there's no option. There's zero option to go live. So when I got on StreamYard today, they asked for feedback. It wasn't great. Then I try to go on through YouTube. And what happens? I get in and out. I'm going flickering in and out. We start getting tornado warnings. Yes. So I had no power. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason because I don't want to cry. I just got off the phone with the vet. I'm late getting on because Pixie has rebounded yet again. So the minute I get off with this tornado warning, the storm was pretty wild. Let me tell you, it was pretty loud. So I go to look for her, and I hadn't been obsessive about it because I was, she'd been clear. I took her to the vet last Tuesday, a week ago today, after the emergency hospital, and she still had some raspiness. So the vet I finally got to see my vet that I've had for 30 years, 20 some years, since 2002, 24 years. And since moving to Ottawa from Muskoka. Anyway, she's like, no, you're going to have to extend it. I've counted. You've got enough in the bottle. You can extend her medication because she's still raspy until you hear nothing out of her nose, nothing, but her lungs at this point sound clear. Okay, great. Then she phones in a prescription renewal. Hey, sweetie. Oh my God, Deanna. So nice to see you. So nice to see you. So anyway, she renews. She says, we're going to renew the prescription, but don't worry, because the pharmacist was, being a salesman, it's only going to be good for 10 days. The shelf life's 10 days, and then it's going to be useless to you. I don't know why the vet gave you at the emergency hospital so much. You can't use this much. Anyway, so I'm asking my vet, is it good? She's like, come on, it doesn't shelf life doesn't go from 100 to 0 overnight, Liane. You'll be fine. So I give her that for a couple days, save myself the $30 renewal from meds, and she's done with her symptoms on Thursday. I still give her a dose Thursday night. Well, last night, after I was looking for, as the storm is hitting, I'm like, I got to find the cat. We got tornado warnings. I'm sure Pixie's scared to death. She was hiding in my closet. I have a shelf, one of those IKEA things where you put sweaters on it. It hangs like shoes in a coat rack would, it hangs. She's in there right now on a cashmere shawl. On a cashmere shawl. So she had a fever last night. When I found her last night, she was sneezing. She was sneezing. And I'm like, okay, I wonder if the air conditioner is bugging her. And then she went into another one of her coughing fits. And she was raspy. So I had to give her the meds to shove them down her throat. She does not like that. And so, yeah, I called the vet first thing this morning. She had a coughing fit, a fever again, which is not good, when they get a fever. And it's taken me until now to get them to renew the frickin' prescription because, as it turns out, when I called the pharmacist, he never got the voicemail for the renewal last week. So they needed to fax it. Anyway, so that's why I'm late. So I was on hold. It took me 30 minutes, 25, I'm sorry, because it took me until 5 minutes before. And then I still was wearing my scrubby t-shirt and whatever. it took me 25 minutes on the phone with him to get the freaking renewal to the pharmacy. It's like, it's just making me wonder what's going on in our systems. And we're going to get into, for everybody that's here, welcome in, by the way. And for anybody new, welcome. And for those of you that have been with me since the beginning, I adore you and everybody along the way. We're going to go through Nolan Wells and Nancy Guthrie. And some of it's going to be not new for you guys now because we're obviously delayed getting this out. And we're going to pull cards along the way. I want us to doing cards. YouTube changed 4,000 to 8. That makes tough for a lot of beginning streamers. No way. When did that happen, Jiggles? You're doing really well, by the way. I'm also really behind. I'm sorry if you're watching me, for the woman that reached out to me, working on a private case for her. And yeah, I just, we're going to do Nolan Wells. We're going to do Nancy Guthrie. I'm going to pull cards. But I am obsessed, and I just want to know before we start, who's watching Lindsay Clancy? Because, hey, Blue Rose, because, oh, sweetie, I'm sorry. I've been in Lindsay Clancy obsession, okay? And I'm writing about it in my book because I'm like, what is so sad about this case? Because I believe spiritually that every case is here to teach us something. I want to just do a little of my, let me just call it a Chris Cuomo moment where, he said, and I agree with him wholeheartedly, and this is sort of a full circle to what I was going to say about Lindsay Clancy and the cat experience and why I'm writing about it. Our system is fundamentally, every system is crushing and falling around the world. All the bureaucratic systems. And I mean, a lot of them have been like that for so long, but people are waking up to it. But then there's also this element of people just don't give a shit anymore. Like I was dumbfounded with the treatment I got with Pixie versus what I got when I had $20,000 to give that same animal hospital, $20,000 for my dog's back surgery. Now the whole thing was about 1920, I think 2021, I can't remember, between all of them. So I don't remember. I think the surgery might have been 16, but there was consultations. And it's just like, I've been sitting here trying to assess when you look at Lindsay Clancy. Is anybody here following Lindsay Clancy? Because what a fucking epic systemic failure. It's like Nancy Guthrie. Could absolutely anything else have gone wrong in Nancy Guthrie's case? Every single thing. You got an idiot sheriff, a sub-sheriff. They're hiding all their past. You got newbies that don't know what they're doing. They've never seen a homicide before. You've got a family who's somewhat absent from the whole storyline. Everything that could have gone wrong, the crime scene trampled over, not letting the FBI get involved. They got nothing on cameras, like nothing. Like, it's like, it feels like the Nancy Guthrie case has got nothing going for it. And Lindsay Clancy, it just reminds me, which is why I started writing about it, because I was like, why am I drawn to this case? And it's just like with what happened to my dad. The system is fractured, and it has been so for so long. But I think when you add now that people are so freaking exhausted, nobody has the bandwidth to give a flat F about anybody else beyond it's my job and that's all I'm doing. I don't think anybody's got their cup full for themselves enough to give to somebody else in a way that they should to give proper service. Does that make sense? It just feels like nobody gives a fuck about anybody anymore, that we are not connected anymore. Hence part of the title of my book. As humans. And then Chris Cuomo brings it up like, this YouTube community is so amazing because he's new to true crime in that we're one of the communities left who actually are standing up for something in a non-violent way. So thank you for being here, because these cases matter. these cases matter. The Lindsay Clancy case, I mean, my daughters never follow true crime. And we're going to get to Nolan Wells in a minute, I promise you. And both my daughters are watching it. And if you guys were interested in it, I was going to ask my oldest daughter, who just got her a full grant to my daughter, a full $36,000 grant for her PhD in nursing. She's a nurse practitioner now. She was a charge nurse at CHIO, runs an autoimmune clinic there now. And she got a job teaching at Ottawa U as well. And I was going to ask her what she thinks of this case, Lindsay Clancy, because it's so, so, so sad. Aw, thank you, sweetie. Thanks, everybody, for being here, by the way. Thanks, everybody. So for the members, we're going to go into, after tonight, we're going to go into a members live. I just finished decorating your new icons for you. They're bigger. So for members, we're going to start doing every Monday. Last night was just not meant to happen. However, I was glad that I was redirected to focus on Pixie because she needed her meds and that stuff. And yeah, so you're welcome. Oh, thanks, Julie. Yeah, so I was going to see if you guys are interested in Lindsay Clancy, I would see if she would come on, because that case is, let me just say, I think, and I did one remote viewing on this. I think she's getting a not guilty verdict. And attorney Melanie Little is phenomenal. She's been following it and I've been watching it with her. Her commentary is brilliant. She was a 30-year prosecutor from Jersey. She actually successfully prosecuted the church from SA crimes against people, which is pretty incredible thing to do. And it's just the failure in the system. The epic failures led to this woman's unaliving of 3 of her children. And she was in a postpartum psychosis, as per the defense and the prosecutor's own witnesses. And now there's 2 major lawsuits. That woman cried out for help, cried out for help, cried out for help. And she, like Nancy Guthrie, every single thing that could go wrong went wrong. Her psychiatrist, one of them, was like a day or something in the field outside of her training, like as her own practitioner, like young people. And every systemic thing that could have gone wrong went wrong. And so we see now the result of that. And that's why these things matter. Your voices, by what you choose to watch and whether you share it and it gets picked up, matters. And that's why my daughters, who don't follow true crime, are following the Lindsay Clancy case. Because, and Melanie Little, who I'm following, says, like, people in the chat are saying, hey, I'm in the nail salon. Every single TV in here is Lindsay Clancy. People are talking about this case right now because the world is fractured. People are fractured, and we need to do better. We need to do better than what we're doing now. And the coach in me is, while I know a lot of you, and I'm sorry, get triggered when I went off and go off on that on Savannah Guthrie, it's because, fuck, the coach in me, the empath in me, the 5-year-old who used to pray for a better world and a world full of peace, gets pissed off at complacency. This world is never going to change if we remain complacent with mediocre. It's just not. We need to stand up to the systems that are broken. And that's also why I get so annoyed in Nancy Guthrie, because the very people, the family, in my opinion, are really not helping themselves in this case. Just my opinion. Women haven't been respected either. No, and it's just wild. Welcome in, American Pie. I'm going to say hi to a few of you. And then we're getting into Nolan Wells, because I did a couple of remote viewings, a few now, on Nolan Wells. Well, you guys, I understand, and it's so hard to tell these days, especially with AI. You guys were saying, Liane, no, that audio's doctored. Well, is it? I'm going to show you a video. We're going to vote. I'm going to pull cards. We're going to see if the audio's doctored. I also told you in my remote view with Nolan Wells that there was a fight. Guess what got reported on Nancy Grace last night? Nolan was seen in a fight with another guy. I told you that in my remote view. So we'll pull some cards on that, and then we're going to get into Nancy Guthrie. Okay. I know they're searching, right? Everybody's heard. Thank you. It's such an honor. I'm so proud of her. She didn't even apply for the grant. She forgot to apply for the grant because she forgot her average was so high in her master's. Yeah. And my other daughter did a dual degree at the same time. My other daughter is an amazing. Yes. And so after tonight, we're moving into the members only. If you're a member, all you have to do is stay here. And at 6:30, we're going boop into members. And if you want to join, you can join. It'll prompt you to join. Where you ladies, for the most part, I think, are helping me with some remote viewing for Nancy Guthrie. And Jiggles, I'm very curious. And a few of you had some things, I emailed you back that one because if you ladies would get comfortable enough to come up on StreamYard and talk, you can even be off camera. You can just turn your camera off like I can do, right? So nobody sees you. It would be so much fun because I would love for us to be able to do that right after a remote view because we can compare. Because one of you saw water, a flash, which I saw, right? Like that's when you can work collaboratively and you can say, wow, that reminds me of what I got, and that's so cool. So thank you to those of you. It's $2.99 a month Canadian. We're doing members. There's about 50 or 60 videos in there. We're doing members lives every first and last Sunday of every month. At this time, it's 6:30 p.m. Eastern, depending on how many people are in members and what part of the world you're in. I'll adjust that time. But the Sundays, first and last of every month. That way we can all remember. And from now on Mondays, this time, we're doing a live. We're going to cover Nancy Guthrie and then whatever other cases, Nolan Wells tonight. Next week, maybe I'll do Lindsay Clancy if you guys say yes to that. And then we're going to move into members only every month. So I hope you think that's a lot of value for $2.99. I'm trying to bring value to those that want to learn more and do more. And I am working on a tarot deck, which I've been working on for a long time. It's true crime. It's never been done before, first of its kind. It's pretty much done. I just need to get the money to print a sample. And then if anybody wants to learn tarot with the deck that I've created, it's going to be a phenomenal learning tool for tarot. So let's get into it. I will also do the best I can to show you the cards tonight because I know some of you were commenting, I don't know, I can't see the card. I don't know what it is. And I've finally been listening. You see there's no background, ladies? You can see me. There's no fake background. I'm in my own place. So let's get at it. Tell me where you're from. And then I got everything I needed to say out of here. Now we're going to pull Nolan Wells up. Thank you for everything you do, my dear. You know what I'm talking about. Joanne, nice to see you, sweetie. And Jiggles and Jill, Nanette, Julie. American Pie, Kel, Xanadu, Aquarius. Oh, there, my dear. Nice to see you. Can I share what we're gonna do, or do I just leave that out for now? Let me know. Welcome in from Louisiana, West Virginia. You want to learn tarot? Okay, perfect. So I'll do another group where we can learn tarot. I've got in the members only very introductory videos, and some of them, the audio I need to redo them. I really need to redo them, but they are there in the members only. Okay. Because you're excited about the deck. Yeah. It's going to be, I can show you guys part of it if you want, but we'll do that another day. I'm excited about it because the reason, I don't know if you guys all know this, part of my story in my book connected because it's part memoir and the other half is going to be how to develop intuition exercises for 100 days. But there's a very unique part of this book because it's my own journey that's never been taught before in other books. That I think is really important before you can start to develop your intuition. And I'm going to kind of dangle that for you. But was important for me to figure out what the heck and who stole all my dad's money. But I was under so much stress, I was not able to get connections or downloads or whatnot. So I don't know if y'all know that I didn't just use tarot to solve the crimes against my dad. I don't know if you're new here. My dad he passed away last June, dementia. He was defrauded of millions by, it ended up being my mother and my sister and his articling student, 3 lawyers that were all business partners. True story. And gave my mom all the money, ignored his dementia, my power of attorney. Yeah. Put illegal liens on a judge from the same firm, allowed it. It's really that bad. So how did I find out? True story. Tarot helped me a lot to solve the case against my dad because I was a freaking basket case. I was a basket case because when I got the call, they had just read him his last rites in the hospital a few days before. Because he had no money for prescription. Welcome in, Cape Breton, New Jersey. You got over 20 decks. Oh, sweetie, I do too. So Aquarius Terra Paranormal is going to join me, and we're going to start doing Aquarius. I don't know if you want to come out. We're going to start doing a joint panel on Nancy Guthrie, Nolan Wells, whatever cases we're covering. Aquarius Terra Paranormal does tarot, and you also do the boxes, right? Spirit boxes. So between the channeling and the tarot and the spirit box, we're going to do a panel together coming likely in the fall in September, right? So look for that. Stay tuned for that. I'm really excited about that. Portland, Colorado, New Hampshire. I guess I better get going, eh? Hello, my dear. How are you, Owen? Hello, Botswana. No way. South Carolina. Wow. Nice to see you here, sweetie. New Jersey, Ohio. Excited about the deck. Me too. Phoenix, Cape Breton. So I didn't even finish that. Can you tell I have ADHD? Sorry, I really do. It's a true thing. Every single person in my family is super high functioning with ADHD. My dad, as a lawyer and corporate developer, land developer, didn't even know he had it till his 60s. So the deck, the reason I wanted to do it as a tarot true crime is, don't worry, you watch tarot, but you do it myself. Perfect, that's fine. Is the reason I wanted to do tarot is because oracle decks, there is an element of intuition, but it's not the same. Okay, it's not the same. It's not the same level of intuition because the card in an oracle deck gives you the answer. In a tarot deck, each card has multiple meanings, and it's up to you to interpret the meanings. So that's what I'm creating, because intuition is going to become more and more fundamental in this world, because you can't trust AI. People are losing faith in governments. We're being in Canada monitored on social media already, what we can see, what we can't say, what we blah, 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 blah. So I just think it's going to become more and more important to trust your intuition. And it's not always easy if you're dealing with trauma, stress, crises. Don't love yourself. Don't trust yourself. Second guess your signs, right? Okay, let's go. I'm going to move into Nolan Wells now. I think I've chit-chatted enough. There's 83 of you here. Thank you for being here. Let me pull up the right video. There we go. I want to show you this because, again, Nolan Wells, right? Anybody here not know? Why does it keep giving me the wrong case? Sorry, let me pull out of here. Anybody here unfamiliar with Nolan Wells? Because this case is interesting, to say the least. There are so many. You hit the like. Thanks, Cal. Oh, and by the way, since we're going to be doing lives, you know, if anybody, including any past moderators of mine, want to jump in, let me know. You can send me an email. So Nolan Wells, you know, went out with his buddies July 4th, right? Just off the shore of Massachusetts, off the shores of Massachusetts, to go celebrate on Horn Island with his buddies. And he never made it home that night. His buddies did, but Nolan never did. And I think it was about 11:30 at midnight that this recording was called. No, it was earlier than that. Never mind. Sorry, I get confused with another one. A call was made because his friends left the island. The people he boated out with, there was 3 boats going out to the island, and they were taking on water. So when you see Horn Island, oh, perfect, Kelly. Okay, let's see if I could do it now. No, I can't. But if you could email me, sweetie, that would be great. His friends the boat was taking in water, and they were their reporting is that they called and said, Nolan, we got to go. We got to get the bilge pumped out. The boat's taking in water, but Horn Island is a 12-mile island sandbar. Jewel, is that remote viewing or tarot, honey? It's like an island that has got like this sandbar, and you can go out 10 feet and you're still standing up into, you know, chest height in the water. And so they're all anchoring the boats. There's boats, hundreds of boats everywhere. The music's on the boats. And of course, they don't want to get their phones wet. So they're leaving the phones on the boat. They go down into the water. They're floating. They're partying. They're whatever. They need a drink. They go up to the boat. They grab a drink, you know. So the boat's taking on water. And they're yelling at Nolan, apparently, according to their side of the story, that they got to go. And Nolan's with a chick. So he doesn't want to go. So, but he never makes it home. And his body washes up back to Horn Island July 6th. And at first I didn't want to cover this case because the parents are like, you know, this is a racist thing. And it's like racism. Like, how are you calling racism? Like, we don't even know if he died naturally or not yet. But the discrepancies in the stories and the timelines and these kids, there's lawsuits everywhere. So we're going to be careful when we talk tonight. There's lawsuits everywhere. But I've done 2 remote viewings, or more than that, 3 or 4 maybe now, actually. And I showed you guys, I think, gosh, who was the first one to pull this video up, the audio? So this is the call his friends made to Cito when they were calling saying, we need somebody to bail us out and tow us because this boat's taking on water. Okay, just to give you what the backstory is and what we're listening to now. Now, somebody came on and downloaded this from Cito, the ministry site, apparently, and some technician, audio technician, and claims that she cleared it up, and you can hear things. You've been obsessed with the Nolan case. Yeah. Oh, Lindsay Clancy. Oh my God. June. I was thinking if you guys like it, I was going to start live streaming and doing tarot because I love trials. I love trials. I went to Western Business School. My dad started in criminal law. His first case, his first case, he ended up at the Supreme Court of Canada. He won it. The guy committed murder, killed his wife for insurance. And my dad got the guy off and said, I can't do this. But that's what I was going on the same path as my dad. I went to Western Business School, was going to go to Western Law School, but life happened. But anyway, my mom got sick with cancer, so I came home. But I'm obsessed with case law. And if anybody wants to learn about lawyering, Reddington, in my opinion, is just brilliant. I love his style. Anyway, I'm getting diverted. Did you see the latest video of the boys with Officer 50? No, we're going to see that tonight. I haven't seen that yet. But so back to the story. This woman I can't even remember who showed it. Who did I show you showed it? Was it Nancy Grace? I think it was, it was Nancy Grace. And Nancy Grace asked her audio producer, yes, trial and tarot, brilliant. Yes, that's what I'm doing. Yes, yes, that's what I want to do. So if you want to start Lindsay Clancy, I'm for it. I sit there tomorrow. I have to go to the vet, but tomorrow, like, I'm just like, instead of commenting on a lawyer, you can just feel the body language. You can smell the lies, do tarot. Yeah. So I was thinking it would be fun. So look out for that, because I'm thinking I'm going to do that. So anyways, I so cannot look at comments. I'm going to move the comments out, not to be rude for a bit, but we're never going to get through this because I love to interact with you all. So focus, Liane, focus. So basically, he shows up. He said, she said, he was with a girl. No, he wasn't. But this girl cleans it up. What sounds like pretty incriminating evidence against the friends. And I'm second guessing myself now. Like, did I get that reading right? Did I get the remote viewing right? Go check it out if you missed it. And you guys were like, no, Liane. I'm like, how could Nancy Grace's producer be fudging it? Okay. So there is a controversy. Matt Johnson here has won awards in journalism. Look at the shelf behind him. He does the same thing as Nancy Grace. He brings somebody in. Now, the guy doesn't say he hears anything, but let me tell you, I do. I sure do. I want to know if you hear it, and then we're going to pull cards. We'll watch that interview, and then we're going to get into Nancy Grace. But let's go, because we're never going to get through this if not. Listen in. Is the thing going to work now? Oh, for the love of God. Let's go.
Unanswered questions in the Nolan Wells case is what exactly is happening? What do we hear in the background of that emergency tow call?
Okay. Oh my God.
Adding to the mystery are other versions of that call, claiming to be enhanced, including this one from an audio engineer.
Now, could it have been said? Absolutely. You know, every single word that she transcribed is possible to be said. I've heard multiple times while I'm on the phone with someone, I'm hearing certain things. And then when I go back and listen for a detail or something like that, I'll hear even more.
A 911 dispatcher weighing in with what he hears during that call and sharing with us his own enhanced version. I want to thank you for being here. Please hit the like and subscribe. I'm Matt Johnson, and this is Justice. Here to help break it all down, we have Brandon Hall, who is a current 911 emergency dispatcher with more than 26 years on the job in the Metro Nashville Department of Emergency Communications. You're also the host of Music City 911. Thank you for being here. I mean, a lot of people have a big dispute over what we're hearing when we listen to the CTOW call.
Okay. Oh my God.
CTOW assistant, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
And I wanted to get your opinion on all of this because you do this for a living. You listen to calls each and every day. This isn't a 911 call, but it's still an emergency call. Let me play it. And then we'll pause it along the way, and I'm going to ask you what you're hearing. And then we're also going to be hearing the enhanced version from that audio engineer that's been swirling around on the internet. We'll talk about that. And your own version that you have enhanced as well. And you're going to walk us through that process. But first, let me play the call, and we're going to play it in its entirety, but I'm going to pause where there is pauses in the audio, and we'll talk about it.
CTOW assistant, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
Okay, so that's our first pause so that we can kind of talk about this. There's a lot of dispute over what's being said in the background before the operator picks up the phone. What did you hear?
In that version, it's kind of hard to hear. And one of the things that I kind of always talk about with cell phones on 911, or just really anytime at all, they have terrible microphones. I mean, really horrible audio comes from cell phones. They've gotten better over the years, but now it's just, really bad. And the fact that they were so far out, I don't know if you've been deep sea fishing before or out that far on a boat. Cell phone service is not good in the first place. As far out as they are, which Horn Island is around 7 or 8 miles offshore, I'm really surprised that they had any reception at all. And there were audio cutouts throughout this entire call. So what you can hear there, it's really hard to hear anything in the background that's distinguishable.
And I'm going to play a little bit more. And again, like you're saying, there are drops along the way, and I'm not cutting anything out of the audio. When you're not hearing anything, it's not your device. It's just there's no audio. But, we'll talk about it more specifically. But did you hear, Nolan's name? Did you hear any commotion in the background of, some of the words that are being alleged? Just hearing the audio by itself, did you hear anything?
I wasn't really picking up on it, especially.
I don't believe this guy. Did any of you hear anything in the background? I know we're going to play it after this, Nina. We're going to listen to this. I want you to tell me what you think if you hear something. I'm going to pull cards and we're going to pull up Officer Tatum next. I'm so glad you guys are getting interested in this case now. Because tell me what you think. I don't think he's being honest because he's afraid of a lawsuit. Just saying. Let's listen again. And you tell me when he cleans it up. Here's the thing, okay? It's bad reception. Yes. Put your earbuds in. My reception's bad or the phone call is bad? Thank you, June, sweetie. Yes, I'm very proud of them. Yes. Listen in. Let's listen again.
Especially that version, and that's one of the things that your mind can play tricks on you too. If someone were to say something to you, I'll give you a good example. There's something called the cocktail party effect. You can be in the middle of a party of 100 people, and there's a dozen conversations going on around you. And then out of nowhere, someone says your name and you automatically tune into that. So if you're prone to something, as in watching or looking at a transcription of something that has a word for what you're hearing, a lot of times that can actually make your brain go to that place.
Let me play a little bit more of this call and I'll get your take on it.
Thank you, sweetie. Thank you, ladies.
Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going down.
All right. Well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership guaranteed. I don't have the tag on
here. Unless you have a membership number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at 2.
All right. And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on board.
All right. Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
All right. All right. Do you have your current GPS coordinates?
Yes, that's Warren in the background. I think he's a great kid, but he sounds kind of perturbed with the woman on the other end of the phone, like, F already, lady, we're drowning here, And then he's got everything going on in the background. Thank you, everybody, for all your jewels. Appreciate it.
Let me go look.
Anything sticking out there to you so far?
Okay, I want to play it back again. We're going to play it back again. We're going to play the clean one, and then I'm going to pull cards because I don't want to listen to this whole. I don't want to listen to Brandon's opinion. I want you to hear both the calls and tell me whether you hear the same talking in the background in the cleaned up call. I'm just trying to figure out where to start it.
This one from an audio engineer.
Now, could it have been said? Absolutely. Every single word that she transcribed is possible to be said. I've heard multiple times while I'm on the phone with someone, I'm hearing certain things. And then when I go back and listen for a detail or something like that, I'll hear even more.
A 911 dispatcher weighing in with what he hears during that call and sharing with us his own enhanced version. I want to thank you for being here. Please hit the like and subscribe. I'm Matt Johnson, and this is Justice. Here to help break it all down, we have Brandon Hall, who is a current 911 emergency dispatcher with more than 26 years on the job in the Metro Nashville
What is going on?
Department of Emergency Communications. You're also the host of Music City 911. Thank you for being here. I mean, a lot of people have a big dispute over what we're hearing when we listen to the CTO call.
You guys don't think that's Warren? You don't think that's Warren? June, it should be $2.99. Oops, I forgot the other. Hang on, I forgot the other 9. There's the link below, honey. You don't think it's Nolan or Warren? I thought it was Warren. Okay, I stand corrected if it's not Warren, but it's irrelevant at this. What we're doing now, I will figure out who it is if I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
So assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
And I wanted to get your opinion on all of this because you do this for a living. You listen to calls each and every day. This isn't a 911 call, but it's still an emergency call. Let me play it, and then we'll pause it along the way, and I'm going to ask you what you're hearing. And then we're also going to be hearing the enhanced version from that audio engineer that's been swirling around on the internet. We'll talk about that. And your own version that you have enhanced as well. And you're going to walk us through that process. But first, let me play the call. And we're going to play it in its entirety. But I'm going to pause where there is pauses in the audio. And we'll talk about it.
CTO assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
Okay, so that's our first pause so that we can kind of talk about this. There's a lot of dispute over what's being said in the background before the operator picks up the phone. What did you hear?
In that version, it's kind of hard to hear. And one of the things that I kind of always talk about with cell phones on 911 or just really anytime at all, they have terrible microphones. I mean, really horrible audio comes from cell phones. They've gotten better over the years, but now it's just, really bad. And the fact that they were so far out, I don't know if you've been deep sea fishing before or out that far on a boat. Cell phone service is not good in the first place. As far out as they are, which Horn Island is around 7 or 8 miles offshore, I'm really surprised that they had any reception at all. And there were audio cutouts throughout this entire call. So what you can hear there, it's really hard to hear anything in the background that's distinguishable.
100%. I hear it too.
And I'm going to play a little bit more. And again, like you're saying, there are drops along the way, and I'm not cutting anything out of the audio. When you're not hearing anything, it's not your device. It's just there's no audio. But, we'll talk about it more specifically. But did you hear, Nolan's name? Did you hear any commotion in the background of, some of the words that are being alleged? Just hearing the audio by itself, did you hear anything?
I wasn't really picking up on it, especially that version. And that's one of the things that your mind can play tricks on you.
I thought so.
If someone were to say something to you, I'll give you a good example. There's something called the cocktail party.
I knew
effect.
what you meant. I knew what
You
you
can be in
meant.
the middle of a party of 100 people, and there's a dozen conversations going on around you. And then out of nowhere, someone says your name and you automatically tune into that. So if you're prone to something, as in watching or looking at a transcription of something that has a word for what you're hearing, a lot of times that can actually make your brain go to that place.
Let me play a little bit more of this call and I'll get your take on it.
What'd
Hello?
you say? Hey,
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
it's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going down there.
All right, well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership like guaranteed. I don't
All
have the
right,
tag
unless
on
you
here.
have a
It got ripped
membership
off.
number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at 2.
All right, and is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How
on
many?
board.
All right, do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
All right. All right, do you have your current GPS coordinates?
Let me go look.
Anything sticking out there to you so far?
Still roughly the same. There is obviously conversation going on in the background, and from what they've said, they're not still on the shore. So I don't think they're picking up anything from actually on the shore, even though there were probably, from what I've heard.
Now, I did hear Wyatt, so I don't think it's Wyatt on the phone. I thought it was Warren, but let's see if we can find out. Somebody just Googled and said they read it was Warren. I'll do that while we keep listening.
Somewhere in the realm of 100 boats there, that day. But if they are away from the shore, it's definitely a conversation that's going on inside the boat. And from what they've said, it's a 22-foot boat. So granted, it's not a tiny little fishing boat, but it's not a huge boat either. You would probably be within earshot of any conversation going on there.
Are you hearing panic? What are you hearing? Because you've heard everything from, people that, might be calling 911 by accident, to people that really need help and their life is in absolute danger, or someone that is trying to help somebody else. So what are you hearing in the voice of the caller?
I'm not necessarily hearing any type of panic. I hear definite urgency. They think that the boat is going down, and they're on the phone with somebody, really the only person that, or people that can maybe help them. I mean, they've got a membership apparently for this CETO service. We have similar things here in Nashville, where they go out on the lake and tow people in if they have an engine breakdown or something like that. So they're almost just like dispatch. Their questions are just different. I mean, she has a standard kind of form of questions that she's asking this the caller, and you can hear there's, like I said, urgency in their voice, and the ones you hear in the background too. I don't know if I'd call it panic or not, though.
Let me play a little bit more for you.
If not, I can send you a text message.
North. All right, are you ready?
Yes, sir, I'm available.
North 30 degrees. By 4672.
All right, 4672. All right, and you were breaking up a little bit. Can you just repeat it one more time to make sure I have it correct?
Sorry, look.
Hello, can you hear?
Yeah, what?
So you're breaking up. If you need assistance, do you have a VHF radio?
No, we do not have a VHF radio.
All right, well, let's try to get you going because you don't have good cell phone reception. Can you verify your coordinates one more time?
Okay, my coordinates are 30 degrees by 14.684 north, and then west by 88 degrees by 46.79.
I'll just show you here quickly here. When I chat GP'd it said it was Warren. I thought it was Warren because doesn't mean this is right, but this is what's coming up with chat. I asked which teenager called CETO Nolan's Wells, and it says teenager who made the call, distress call to the private marine towing company CETO was Warren Hudson. That's what I thought. Because Warren was the one in one of the interviews with Officer Tatum. Did you guys actually see that? Did I actually put it up? I do that sometimes. I'm sorry. I thought he said he was assigned to that boat to drive that boat. And so I thought he was sort of taking command of his boat, if you will, the one he drove out there, that he felt responsible. But I could be wrong, but this is what's coming up here, according to Facebook post. Okay, let's get back to this. And then I want to, because I do want to play the newest interview and then get to Nancy Guthrie. So let's listen to this a little bit. And then we're going to members live.
Sinking, or you have it aground?
We were sinking, yes.
Is it aground is the question?
No, we're not aground. We are in
Okay.
17 foot of water. We're in 31 foot of water.
All right, have to ask. What do you want to do? Do you want to be towed back?
I want to get this boat unsank and towed back, yes.
All right, where would you like it towed to, sir?
You can tow it to Ocean Springs Harbor, or Fort Bayou launch.
All right, how many adults and children on board?
No, there's no children.
So is there anybody on board? How many adults, sir? That was the question.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Nina. Thank you. That's so nice.
Hello,
of
can you hear me?
Thank you, Nina. That is very, very kind of you. YouTube decides who to give the memberships out. Generally, those who communicate in the chat. So, Nina, thank you.
Gotta jump in and pull the plug while you're going.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yep, I just need you to answer these questions so I can get you over to the captain.
Okay.
How many
what's
adults
going
on board?
There's 0 adults on board.
There's nobody on board the boat?
No. Nobody
right.
here is over the age of 21.
Could
Sir,
be.
that was not the question. Is there a person? Is there a person, a living individual on the boat?
Not communicating together here.
Hello?
Is there a living person, someone breathing on the boat? Is there anybody on the boat?
Yes, there's lots of people breathing on the boat.
All right, how many people, sir?
Like 7.
All right, thank you. Does everyone have life jackets on or available to them?
Yes, we have life jackets available.
All right, verify what boat sinks.
I mean, listen, I don't think if this is Warren, exactly, Julie, that's what I was going to say. I don't like the tone. I know. Officer Tatum's defending them, but he does sound slightly rude, very perturbed, probably drunk, but, have you seen the wealth in those areas? It just sounds a little spoiled, a little, drunk and irritated. Yeah. So I just,
Sinking.
A Triton, 22 foot offshore, 22 foot Triton offshore sea flight hull.
He's frustrated.
All right.
But at the same time, get in his defense. Like when the boat's sinking and you've been on the phone for how long now? How long have you been on the phone now?
All right. Please hold. I'm transferring you to the local captain now.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, no way. You got it.
So I'm going to pause it right there.
There
Your thoughts on what we just heard?
Yeah, exactly.
So one of the things, all the audio cutouts, and that's something I was going to mention a couple minutes ago. What's happening there is what's called the cliff effect. It happens in like terrestrial digital video, like if you're watching stuff over an antenna, and it happens with cell phones as well. It's not like if you say like ham radio or something like that. As the audio degrades, the signal gets weaker and weaker. It just gets quieter, and then, but with a cell phone, once it gets down to a certain decibel level, it just cuts off. So it just falls off a cliff. That's the way this is. It's happening here. So, and it happens all the time. I hear it every single day. Especially with this, how far out they are. I'm really surprised that they got as much as they did from this call. So that was one of the main things, is just all the cutouts and how there's frustration because of it. They're not hearing each other. That's something that can happen with 911 calls, and obviously something like this, a private service.
Are you hearing anything that is alarming to you as a professional?
Not necessarily, other than the fact that they are taking on water. That's, in and of itself a huge thing. So they could be, from what he said, a quarter mile away from the actual island itself.
There's a lot of dead air. I'm just warning you as the listener right now, but I do want to play the full thing. So
okay, so now we're going to listen to this one he cleaned up. I still hear things. You tell us.
Let me do
what
that.
you hear.
This is Captain Seth.
Hi, Captain Seth. This is Vicky from International. How you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, good. I apologize ahead of time. I really do. You're going to have a fee for service come up under...
Okay.
Jerry,
It sounds like a bunch of kids on board on Horn Island. He's letting me know that his father's a member, but he can't give me any information. And he's saying the boat is sinking.
Okay, we're going to fast forward, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, because I should have time stamped it. I'm so sorry. But I'm pretty sure he cleaned up a version.
For a living in
The actual call.
what did you do? And we'll listen to your version.
This is the one
As far
that I want you to compare it to. This is the one he separated. So he is doing, so what you were hearing was the one that everybody's claiming was doctored. And then I showed you a Nancy Grace video, okay, which is the one that you just heard was supposedly doctored. And then Nancy Grace came on. I showed you the Nancy Guthrie one that everybody also said, no, Liane, that's the doctored one. So this guy, Brandon Hall, has done exactly the same thing Nancy Grace, why am I saying Nancy Guthrie? Nancy Grace's studio producer did. He's cleaning it up. Took the original, clean it up, and I still hear conversation in the back. He denies it, probably doesn't want to get sued. You tell me if you hear, and then we're moving on.
As far as my version, pretty much the same thing. I just, one of the good things about this call, and generally when I'm for my podcast, I like to have just a normal stereo sound where, all sound is coming from both speakers. In this one, it was a lot better because it was only the actual call taker from CETO was on one channel and the caller was on the other channel. So I was able to just drop her altogether, remove the operator, and all you have left is what you're hearing spoken through the actual cell phone itself. And from there, like I said, I just left the caller as is, no boost or anything. And then I went back, and the first few seconds, I only did this with probably, 30, 45 seconds worth of the audio, boosted the very specific part that she was playing just then.
All right, let's hear your version.
Listen in.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
Okay, I'm pausing it right there. What did you hear in your version in the...
Just let me know. Did you or did you not hear, oh my God, Noli, in the cleaned up version? Yes or no? Just let me know. If you all agree, let me know. Because do you want me to pull cards on this, or have we got a unanimous decision? Yes or no? Do you still hear in the background? I'll back it up. If I was in the 31 feet of water, my boat was sinking, I don't think that would have been, you would have been that common. Fair point, Robin. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's been drinking all day. This is taking forever, and my boat is sinking. And that's what I was saying. In fairness to him, he does sound kind of perturbed and a little snotty, but in fairness to him, I'd probably be pissy too, right? Like, my boat's sinking. What do you not understand? So you guys hear that? It's not that clear. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to play it again one more time. And then let me know if we need to do tarot cards, because I want to pull cards at a Q&A tonight for you as well.
Thinking, can y'all please come? We have a membership.
The actual call taker from Cito, I said I just left 45 seconds worth of the audio, boosted the very specific part that she was playing just then.
All right, let's hear your version.
I'm gonna
Oh my God. All right.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn.
The thing is, I heard Noel, oh my God, yeah. Okay, let me pull cards. So the thing is that I wanted to say, I don't think you can make up part of that conversation. And there's parts of it I absolutely don't hear, but there are parts of it that I do hear. I think they were really freaking out because of the boat. Yeah? Yeah, it could be. Okay, so what's your first question? What do you want me to pull? What kind of energy? Was this an accident? Let's start with, what's this an accident? Now, I'm going to pull the boys' interview with, we're going to watch the boys' interview with Officer Tatum, but I will not pull cards on that because I want to get through tonight. And I just lost a cue on the floor because I want to get through tonight and get to the members live. Liane. Okay. Okay, so let's find out. So this is not my deck. This is Ashley is her name by The Reckoning. She has a channel as well. She does True Crime Tarot. She's very good. Go check her out. If it wasn't ACC, why lawyer up with high profile lawyers? Well, I would too. Honestly, at this point, I would too. Okay, so let's see. This deck has 180 cards. So I cannot hold it in one hand for one shuffle. So I separate it into two. So let's just get the energy of this case. Okay, let's just get the energy of this case. Inside. Guys wearing headset inside a box. Inside knowledge, inside what? Inside what? And they're being threatened. Yeah, exactly. Imagine being threatened. Ugh. Okay, what does the energy of this case show us? I have my other camera set up, boys and girls. I should say, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I say that just to be fun. Some people get upset. Fired. Social media and fired. I don't know what the fired social media is, but okay. So that I will be able to show you the table. I can set that up now if you prefer. Let me know. So you can see the table as well. Okay, so fired and social media. So let's get a clarifier on inside, okay? What are you ladies picking up? There might be a gentleman here or gents, ladies and gents. What are you picking up for inside? I'm going to say I feel like I'm going to tell you what I'm picking up, okay? Before I pull cards. I'm going to tell you, I'm picking up, I don't believe that Warren and his friends are responsible, but I think they know. I think they have a guilty knowledge. And I think that inside that little community of friends of Nolan's, they know what's going on. Just saying. That's what I think. And I think they are an extremely tight group. He's hiding. Very good point. Somebody's hiding. Good point. Jiggles. Good point. I think, it could be with respect to that call too. Like it sounds echoey inside a box. Maybe he's actually very interesting. If he's trying to duck from the noise behind him, there's that too. So let's get a clarifier. But I think that Warren didn't say it, but when he did his first interview with Officer Tatum, he he said, you don't know who you're dealing with, because not only is his stepmom a judge, he's hiding. Yeah. Stepmom's a judge. Jiggles, you're good at this, honey. Stepmom's a judge, but also I think he was also backhandedly saying, we are a very tight community and we don't rat each other out. I really think, mark my words, we're going to find out that people that do know are still not saying much. That's what I think. And I think that's why Warren's dad put up a $50,000 reward, right? So you know what? Inside, I think, Jiggles, you're probably right. But I'm thinking if this has got two meanings, because that's also very possible. I kind of energetically feel like that's also referencing the call, because he's got a headset on, that he might have been like underneath. It was echoey and hard to hear because he might have been trying to get out of the noise. But yeah. Hey, Keither, how are you? I'm glad you made it. I'm sorry for yesterday's fiasco. Okay, so let's get a clarifier on inside. Inside. I only take flippers, the ones that jump out of my hand. If I'm a sloppy shuffler. I have short fingers. So I have a hard time like getting my fingers around the deck. Like to get the whole deck in my hand, I can barely hold it. Hey, Kitty, how are you? So nice to see you. I'm going to do lives again. So if you want to be a mod again, I'm putting it out to anybody that wants to be a mod. We're going to do lives every Monday. Well, or maybe Tuesdays if this is a better night. We'll see. Okay, inside, somebody's trying to walk away. Somebody is trying to walk away from this situation. I know the boys have the GoFundMe, exactly. Somebody is trying to walk away. So I got to go back to my first instinct was somebody inside knows the truth and is trying to get out of this. It's trying to get out of this. Yeah, no, this is live, honey. This is a live, Kitty. You are here in a live, but let's get another clarifier. Get more clarifier for inside. I agree. I don't think those boys are involved, but they may know something. I think Javon knows, and the girl from the sessions I had. Yes, I think it was an altercation of the BC of the girl. Oh, interesting. See, sweetie, as much as I want to watch your stuff, I don't. This is going to be interesting when we go and do. Like, I deliberately don't watch other readers because I don't want to be influenced. So that'll be very interesting. That's just my way of doing it. So it'll be very interesting. Okay, let's get another inside. Inside. And so we got inside and 8 of Cups, which is somebody trying to walk away. So, I mean, it actually could be both. We got the wheel, karmic wheel. The driver, the caller, somebody trying to steer the case, somebody trying to hide. I don't know, man. I feel like I literally feel that is the guy in the Ceto we were just listening to recovering from a broken femur. Oh my gosh, that is no good. 8 of Cups, trying to walk away. And here's the karmic. Don't be influenced. Yes, Liane, don't be influenced. I do that too. Don't be influenced by what, June? You lost me, sweetie. Did he or did he not stay on the island? You do what too, Aquarius? I am so ADHD. You got to remind me, like I do. Like I don't even remember what I said about what I do. Oh, you do the flippers only? Is that what it is? So I would love to come up and talk about what you're getting, Aquarius, but I really think this is somebody inside has knowledge. They're just trying to get away from this. They want to get away from this. They're trying to get out of the situation, but I do think somebody has inside knowledge. Let's just see what else we get. We've got fired. Okay, so obviously somebody didn't get fired. But let's just see. I don't watch others first, so I don't get influenced. Okay, seriously, that's exactly it. Yeah. Okay, fired. Let's get clarifiers on fired. So we've got 2 that flipped out. King of Swords. 5 of Swords. So King of Swords is very sharp spoken. It's usually law enforcement, the legal system. It can be. And you've got a 10 of Swords. So somebody that we've got three swords, and there two of them are not such great energy. And the King of Swords can be super harsh, and we've got fired. So I'm going to say what I'm getting. I'm going to say what I'm getting. It's more of a prediction. I think this is more of a prediction, but I'm wondering if the family, Nolan Wells' family, might find a different attorney down the road. Just saying, just picking this up, because he has brought them a true amount of just join live. Who are we reading? Nolan Wells, sweetie. I just asked for the energy on the case, Nolan Wells. Fired comes up. I asked for clarifiers. Then we've got the Five of Swords, which is conflict, battle, fighting, right? This is somebody who is outspoken, analytical, speaking. This is your speaking card. It can be judges, police, law, right? And Ten of Swords, backstabbing, betraying. I think this is, I think, more of a future card. I just thinking these two came out together. Five looks like a fight. Exactly. I think behind the scenes, the parents have been quiet, and they've raised a boatload of money, and so they should. I don't disparage them with that at all. But I'm just wondering if they are going to find that they're not getting as far with their attorney, or is this them fighting with law enforcement? But somebody's potentially fired. I want more clarifiers on that. Let me see if I can get another clarifier. I'm going to pull up this deck. And what time is it? Because I'm going to pull a couple more, and then we got to watch. Man, it goes fast. I'm going to have to plan less next time, because I want to do Nancy Guthrie as well. We can watch Officer Tatum's interview at 1.25 a little bit faster, and then we're going to get into Nancy Guthrie. Okay. Preparation and gifts. Yeah, okay. This is what I'm getting, because I'm asking for a clarifier, and this for me, this feels like a validation. Warren's stepmom is a judge, and they just had three people have been arrested. 3 people have been arrested for threatening the kids. It's disgusting. Okay. So here's what I think. The gifts they got was that attorney did a phenomenal job raising awareness for this case. And I think to the last time I heard, they had close to $750,000 raised in legal funds. Gifts. Help them get prepared for the battle ahead of them. But something just tells me that they're going to change lawyers. That's what I'm picking up. Something tells me that they're going to change lawyers. Let's see, because that's more predictive. Okay, I'm going to pull one more. If you have a question on this Nolan Wells case, do we want to know if the audio is real or not? I know, Sandy, welcome in, sweetie. I'm going to be doing them. I said Mondays, but I have a feeling Tuesdays may be better. Tell me in the chat, are Mondays or Tuesdays at 4 better for you? Because I'm going to continue to do pre-recorded videos, but I want to do one live every month. Why the mom is not being honest about certain things. Yeah. This is it. Like, I think, well, the other thing, real or not, sorry, June, the audio where you can hear in the background, oh my God, Nolan, do you think that's real or not? Sherry says Mondays are better. Jiggles us home every day. You don't understand why the mom is not being honest. Well, you know what I heard from Daphne? Daphne was saying, I don't know if y'all saw this. I'm trying to keep up with Nancy Guthrie, Nolan Wells, Lindsay Clancy. It's a lot, but I love it. And boy, oh boy, I was just talking about Jack and Lily. And my gosh, I think we're going to go back to Jack and Lily, because Malaya finally made a statement. I don't know if y'all saw that interview yesterday on CBC. Hey, Jules. So either day is fine. Okay, doesn't matter. You either day. If you're here, you will be. Thanks, Cindy. Okay, honey. Yeah, so I haven't seen the whole thing yet because I'm trying to keep up with everything. But so do we think that is true? Do you hear, or do you think that entire audio has been made up in the background where it sounds like Nolan is dead? There's check his chest, Bart, oh my God, damn it, Bart. Like, you know, he's really dead. Like Wyatt's boat was sinking the Triton. Yes, sweetie. But Warren, from what I understand, was driving it. So I'm going to just pull cards. I'm going to stop asking and I'm going to pull. Because if I wait for answers, we're not going to get there. We're not going to get there in time to members. Okay. Lots of YouTube because I have photographic memory since 2018. Try to watch anything related to true crime. No way. That's agoraphobic. Sorry, sweetie. I thought photographic. You also heard it. Yeah. Okay. Is this audio real? Are there background noises? And then we're going to get into Tatum's interview. And then we're going to go to Nancy Guthrie. You also heard it. Okay. Is this audio real? Now, most people don't do this. I only take flippers because I don't do messy shuffles because my hands are short. My fingers are short. The ones that fall out. When the first one falls out, the way I do yes or no, okay, is unless it's some people go with a positive card. I'm going to do 3 and see what the 3 cards read. If I get reverses, 2 in reverse, that's a no. Tuesday. So this one went to flip. And this one is in reverse. Okay. Yes or no, is that audio real? Yes. Last one, it flips upside down or not, and I'll show you all of them. Now, does that mean it's real? No, that's just a fun way that I do it. So we get 1 of Swords, upright, yes. Knight of Pentacles, upright, yes. And in reverse, 1 of Pentacles. Later in the evening would be better. Well, I'm moving into members only, and then that'll run until like 8:30. So I don't know about too much later. Sherry, tell me what time you were thinking, honey. Tell me what time you were thinking. Okay, let's move in now. I want to show Officer Tatum's newest interview, and then we are going to get into Nancy Guthrie, okay? Let me get into this. Now I just lost my email. Thank you, Jewel. Is this the one? No, whoops. I haven't eaten yet today, this afternoon. I gotta get some food. Oh, for Pete's sakes. Wouldn't I click on the very last one? Sorry, everybody. I got the wrong one here. I'll pull it up. And then I gotta go turn my AC on, and hopefully you'll be able to hear me because it's getting hot. Okay. Nolan's friends break their silence. Officer Tatum has been the one truly leading the kids. And they, just to be fair to him, because some people have given him a hard time, but they reached out to him to ask him to interview them so that they could have a platform. Listen in, I got to go turn the AC on.
Life, young guys being in college, having a typical experience, then you lose your friend.
I think like ever since it happened, my life just like hit like a hole. Like even going out, we're always paranoid somebody's gonna see us, get spotted, try to beat us up potentially, or even worse.
You just met these young men more recently. And are you confident that these young men had nothing to do with it? We have Ed Pausick, Warren, Jax, and then we have Morgan here. And so I talked to Warren last time I was here. We had a really deep conversation, and I'm glad that we were able to get other perspectives now that we have Ed here. Ed is a defamation attorney. And I want to start with you, Ed. why did you choose to work with the boys? What is your plans? What do you expect to get out of working with them? What's your expectations when it comes to defamation?
Well, I think an injustice in one place is an injustice everywhere. I hate lying. I care about the truth, but most of all, it's the actual people who are involved here. So first of all, I just want to say Tyler Cox really welcomed me here. My co-counsel, he's an incredible human being and he's an incredible attorney. And then after that, I had an opportunity to meet these incredible young men. And I just got to say, these guys are unbelievable. Warren, Jackson, Morgan, they're just beautiful people. They're really decent human beings. They're just great people. And, that's why I'm here, because I want to help great people. And this is a very sad situation, but it's also a very human situation. And it's a tragedy.
So you guys have, obviously before this happened, I would assume you're living a regular life, young guys being in college, having a typical experience. Then you lose your friend, Nolan. And after that, what has life been like for you guys?
I think like ever since it happened, my life just like hit like a hole, it just stopped. And I mean, we just got to live day by day from now on. I could say definitely a whole flip upside down for our lives. It's like even going out, we're always paranoid somebody's gonna see us, get spotted, try to beat us up potentially, or even worse. We're really just trying to stay low key and not go out as much or anything like that.
It's been hard because my friends and I are people. I mean, we like to be out and hang out outside of our friend group, and not being able to like go certain places or walk around in public because our head's always on a swivel. It's really affected all of us. I mean, especially in like my family's standpoint, my safety comes first, and my friends and family safety come first too. And it's been really hard because I'm worried about like my family as well with me, and it's hard, but we're just going day by day and just trying to get through every day.
Can you give me some examples of what has happened? Have you guys had things happen online, threats online? Have you guys have any examples of people accosting you or anything like that?
Oh yeah, we have had countless death threats online. Been spotted. I'll let you elaborate more on that. Being spotted.
I mean, people have obviously just pointed us out. I mean, as a group and even on a one-on-one setting, I think it's really just like awkward because I don't want to talk about this, and I know my friends don't want to talk about this any more than we need to. We're still mourning one of our best friends' death, and it's hard to speak about it when like sometimes we just need some alone time, or sometimes we just need to lay back and not be around all this. And I mean, I've been called out in public, and I haven't been in public that much. I know my friends have had encounters in public. The threats have been insane from my stepmom, my dad, my mom, just everyone included, like even my brothers and my sisters. And it's just hard. I mean, it's unbelievable where like this has been taken to and the level where this is at.
When you say you've been called out in public, can you give me an example of like, what do you mean? People are threatening you with weapons? People are, not allowing you, deny you service? Because I heard that Trayston, he went to a corner store and they told him his money is not good there. They wouldn't even let him buy Gatorade.
Yeah.
Are you experiencing things like that or something totally different?
Right. I wouldn't say like that. I think I haven't been denied, anything, but like Trayston, it's hard to hear from a good friend of mine that he's getting denied a Gatorade and a Red Bull before work and having to, like, he calls me and he's like, dude, you won't believe what just happened. He got called out at Walmart. Someone called him out at Walmart and was like asking him all these questions and trying to press him about it. And it's crazy to me. Like, we live in a very tight knit community, and for people to, push back and say these things when they know what Ocean Springs is like, it's really hard. And I mean, I haven't had many personal encounters, but I know being around the guys and stuff like that, they have. So,
and Ed, as an attorney that's representing these boys, I mean, what does that make you feel like? Do you feel like you got a good case here, or what's your perspective in that? Because people are online, and obviously they know who you are. Obviously they know you represented Donald Trump in some pretty high profile cases. And so now that you've joined, or at least now you work for the young men here, you hear them say things like they've been accosted, they've been, threatened online. Does that make your case a greater case, or how do you work within what's happening to these young men?
Well, unfortunately, I wish there was no case. I wish this hadn't happened. But unfortunately, because these things did happen, there is a case, and now there's multiple cases. And I'm going to tell you something. If you're out there and you lied about these guys, you lied about my guys, you lied about Tyler's guys here, if you lied about Morgan, if you lied about Jax, if you lied about Warren, we're going to get you. And you're going to be hauled into court. You're going to be held accountable. And it's going to be very painful. And what I would say to the people who have done that is now's your chance. If you want to apologize and retract before you find yourself in court, you should probably do that now. Because if you don't do that, once you're in court, now you just can't leave. You won't be able to get out of it. And we're not going to name names because there's some other folks who are doing that, and we want to be better than that. And I want to emphasize this, right? We're not here to guess. We're not here to speculate. We're only going to deal in facts, right? Here's the most important thing, right? We don't know how Nolan Wells died. No one here is saying we know. But what we do know is Morgan, Jax, and Warren had nothing whatsoever to do with Nolan Wells' death. And that's what's important. And unfortunately, because there are people who want to divide a town and come in from the outside and tell people what to think and pit neighbor against neighbor, it compounds the
coming from the outside. Now that is fascinating, given Regis pulled the inside job card or the inside, and I said I felt the energy was this cliquey little community. There is an element of that with this case. The energy is like, we're the insiders. You're an outsider. We are a group. Don't F with us. There's that energy in this community. That does not make them murderers. I'm just saying. It's that energy exists here. June. Okay, I will, sweetie. I did one remote view for Lindsay Clancy because I wanted to know, regrettably, inside the moment, and she felt very demonic, like possession, like she was not in her right mind. This was not a planned, in my opinion. So I'm going to do Lindsay Clancy because it's a little traumatic. I'm going to do more tarot with that. But if I can find a couple of the ones that aren't so traumatic, I'll do more. But definitely I'm going to start covering Lindsay Clancy. I think I want to do the live trials with tarot, and maybe I'll add a few remote views. I've added to the comments in the Psyche of the Turpins. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. We can do that too, Jiggles. If you stay in the community and we keep doing remote views, we can move on after Nancy. But I did add that I will do Annie and Tommaso's house the night before. Let's finish this, and then we're going to get into Nancy Guthrie's case.
Tragedy. It magnifies the tragedy. And I just want to say this. Here's why it's an even bigger tragedy. Because my friends here, Morgan, Jax, and Warren, these guys are not just the finest that Ocean Springs has to
worries,
offer.
June. No worries. Don't apologize.
These are the finest young men that America has to offer.
Please, I don't remember what I did yesterday half the time. Please don't apologize for forgetting.
You know, really great people. And Tyler actually taught me good Ocean Springs people. That was one of the first things I heard when I got here. So I'll just say that they're good Ocean Springs people.
Sorry to interrupt. I know you're enjoying this incredible interview. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and also join our membership program. Let's get back to the interview. And how confident are you? Because you just met these young men more recently. And are you confident that these young men had nothing to do with it?
Confidence not a strong enough word. In fact, beyond a reasonable doubt is not strong enough. There's a 0% chance that they did anything wrong. So this is not 90%. It's not 99%. It's not 99.9999. There's no decimals. There's no anything. It's 100%. 100.000%. Nothing. They did nothing wrong. And that's the problem for our opponents here, who have ruined their lives, dragged them through the mud, and attack them. You don't get to lie. We have the First Amendment. We love our First Amendment, but you don't get to lie and hurt people. You want to lie and it doesn't hurt people? Fine. You lie and you hurt people. That's why we have defamation. And that's what this is about. So I just want to emphasize this in the strongest possible terms. Zero wrongdoing, completely innocent, totally innocent, and categorically innocent.
And this is what I'm saying I was getting in the cards and the reading, and I think it's very true when Warren said they don't know what they're dealing with. My stepmom's a judge. This is a close-knit community, and we got money, and we're being attacked and threatened now because you guys came out with the race card. Hence why the fired card from the Wells family came out, perhaps why they may have to get a new attorney. I'm just saying, because this is getting ugly now. And I would bet these guys collectively have a boatload of money. No pun intended. Literally no pun intended.
You guys have had experiences with either people threatening you online. I know that, Warren, we talked about this before, and we talked a little, or at least spoke a little bit about when you go out, you guys are getting accosted by people. Can you give us an example of, or at least tell the audience an example of an incident where you guys may have been accosted Or what does that look
Yeah.
like when you go out? People threaten you with weapons, or people trying to physically harm you, or people having to be restrained? What kind of engagement is happening?
I mean, it's the reason I was getting deterred from this case. And honestly, I'm not sure how much more I'm going to cover this case, if I'm being totally honest. I'm not going to have time to show you tonight. But when I do my Nancy Guthrie, I'll do a remote view on Nolan, maybe one last one, to show you Nancy Grace last night. They said Nolan was seen getting into a fight, altercation with another male at 6 o'clock. Is it true or not? I don't know. I'll remote view. I've already seen it in a remote view, so maybe I'll pull cards. But I'm not sure how much longer I want to cover this case, because it's getting, like, I don't like the energy, We'll see. But I definitely am interested in Lindsay. So stay with me on Lindsay Clancy.
Happening when you guys go out?
We went to a restaurant, a couple of buddies of mine, and when we were, I wouldn't say threatening with weapons or anything, but I felt, and I know my friends felt, threat for our lives. I mean, I don't think there was like a fear factor, but at the same time, like it's awkward in public, like I stated, like when we have to talk about these things. But we went to a restaurant and someone came up to me and was like, "Is this you?" And I was kind of like shaken up about it. Well, at first she asked like my name and like all these questions, and I was like, okay, whatever, she's coming up to talk. Well, then she came up to me again and showed me our first interview and was like, "Are you sure this isn't you?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, that's me, like obviously." And she kind of just, I looked at my buddy and I was like, "Yeah, we're leaving, like close everything out, like we're going." And I left, and there was an altercation after I left with some of my buddies that weren't involved in this at all. And they told my friends that they were going to kill them and they wanted to fight and all this like crazy stuff. I mean, I wasn't there, but my friends told me this, that what the people were saying to them was like totally just crazy. Like, I mean, there was people like that were, outside of this telling us like, "Hey, you need to leave before something happens, because I know what could go down right now. And like, I know that these people are crazy." So, I mean, we all felt, we were kind of shaken up about that. It was weird because it was our first encounter as a group. And I think it's also like just crazy that people will like look at you in the eye and tell you they'll kill you because they believe you killed your best friend and you have nothing to do with it.
And Morgan and Jax, were you guys there?
Yes, we were there.
I was there.
I didn't hear the part where they said they were going to kill him and stuff, but I did hear whenever she came up to him originally, she was like, "Hey, you have like TikTok or anything like that? Your face looks really familiar." And he was like, "No, I don't have TikTok or anything like that." She was like, "Oh, okay," and then walked off, and then came back with, like you said, the first interview on her phone and showing him. She's like, "So this isn't you. Either you have a doppelganger or this is you." And he was like, "Well, yeah, that's me." And then we got the check and we bounced, and we were waiting outside for everybody else to get out of there. And while we're waiting outside is whenever some of our other buddies that aren't even on social media that we were just there with was getting told that other people are going to kill them and all that kind of stuff.
So how did they make you guys feel did you think they were serious? Did you think it was just people trying to make a name for themselves by confronting you in front of others? Like, what was your take on that, Morgan?
I think it was just like, I was in the general area of where one of our buddies was, where this altercation happened. And I actually got into a conversation with a fellow next to me that wasn't even involved. And he told me straight up, he was like, "If I was y'all right now, I would leave before y'all get hurt. Y'all need to leave right now. I'm just watching out for y'all and making sure y'all are safe." And I mean, I wouldn't say that those people would have physically done.
Whoops, I was muted. Sorry. I don't know who the other two are because I had to go get something to eat while the first part of the interview was go backwards. There was names on top, if anybody caught it, other than Warren in the pinkish red t-shirt with the white baseball cap and the white pants. I recognize because he was in the other interviews. But Warren looks like he's lost weight. I think this boy's under so much stress. He looks to me like he has lost a significant amount of weight. Anybody else find that in his face? I'm talking his face.
And something in that moment, but I think they were playing like almost like a mental game, like just to get into your head and just almost like make yourself like just think these things that obviously are not true.
If you can go back to the very beginning of this, how do you think this should have played out? Because I always question in my mind that when I go back, I look at what happened, I look at the initial stories with Nolan, and you guys knew him. right? I didn't know him. I know none of you guys. I just had a chance to meet you guys more recently. But how do you think this should have gone? If you could control the environment, Nolan is found.
I just want to state, because I didn't, and I want to make it very obvious. I'm sorry, and then I'll stop interrupting. I don't think Warren had anything to do with this. I don't think his group of friends, but I did see a fight altercation with Nolan in my remote views with another male. And if that C call is truly real, I think it's when as they are leaving, they're so close to other people going on that there's potentially something else going on in another boat. I would be shocked if I misinterpreted this friend group. I do not personally believe that they are involved, just saying. But I do get the energy of an altercation with another male. And I said that in my remote views before that came out on Nancy Grace last night.
Deceased. How do you guys think that this should have been put out to the world?
So first off, I wish that none of this would ever happen. I wish Nolan could still be here with us today. And I wish that, like I said, none of this would ever happen. Like I wish that all this could be erased and Nolan could be here tomorrow. I mean, that's more than anything. But other than that, I feel like his mom blasting us on social media from the get-go, saying that he was out there with Warren and another guy. That's where it first started to take off. And then also the fact that she posted a picture of me and Morgan another guy and Nolan on the boat together, blasting that out there, pushing this narrative, kind of, I guess. I wish that would have never happened either. And I don't think if those would have never happened, a lot of this stuff wouldn't have been as viral or gone.
The other thing I forgot, paranormal, because I get so distracted with my ADHD, watching the chat, listening. Mom has still not turned over, apparently rumored, according to Daphne's case files, Nolan Wells' mother has retrieved the phone, which we know to be true. It's been over 30 days. It's August 11th. Nolan's phone was retrieved July 5th. The next morning, before they found Nolan's body washed up on Horn Island. And his mother has still refused, apparently, according to Daphne's case files and her research, to hand Nolan's phone over to authorities. So there's behavior there that I'm just saying is odd. If you want to find the truth, you can't mistrust authorities that much. Like, seriously. I don't know. That's just weird to me.
It's all over the country at this point. I mean, this is a countrywide news story that is just blown out of proportion. Mm-hmm. And the fact that it was our best friend and it's not what people are saying it is what hurts the most. I mean, that was our brother. I mean, straight up. That's what I told his dad the night that he came over to my house. He was like, blah, blah, saying something. I was like, dude, that was my brother. Like, and you know that. He knows that. We were picking him up every single day. He never drove. I can't tell you how many times I pulled up in his driveway and picked him up. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't him asking. It was just because that's what we did. We just picked up Nolan all the time. That's how we, came about to all the stuff that we were going to. We'd go and pick him up. That's how much we like to be around him. We would do stuff like that all the time, Well, first off, like, I wish we would have never, like, I think about this every day. Like, I wish we would have never went out on the 4th of July because I know this wouldn't have happened. Nolan wouldn't be gone. And like, it's really hard to think about because it's like, I wish I would have done this different, or I wish I would have done that different because now one of my brothers passed away. But I think from the beginning, I'm glad that I called the Coast Guard. I'm glad that we came together as a group, even from the first day when people started texting us things, saying, crazy things. But I wish it wouldn't have been reported as some type of race thing. I think it's really bad that, like, people are pushing the narrative, oh, this is a race thing. Well, obviously it's not. I mean, this is like a brother.
I don't know that they're saying that. I don't know if that's the narrative, June. I think the narrative is, which I actually do believe because I grew up on the water, that when you're at a sandbar and you're drinking, it's July 4th, these kids are 18 to 21 years oldish. You're drinking, you're boating, it's an hour off the mainland. You don't get great cell reception and you don't want to be drinking, and they're fooling around in the water and they're standing in the sandbars. The boats are anchoring right beside them, floating in the water, and they're up to their chest, neck, wherever in the water. You're not holding your phone. You got a drink in one hand. You just don't. You put it in the boat, you leave it on the boat, you go into the cooler on the boat to get a drink. When you got to pee, you either walk onto the island, go to the bushes, or you go down the beach where no one's at. But there was thousands of people there that day. So I totally don't agree that they wouldn't have. I don't think the narrative is that they're upset that there was no phone. I think the narrative from the parents, unless I misunderstand you, I'm sorry if I misunderstand you. The parents' narrative is that Nolan had no pictures. It had to be deleted. Well, maybe he was busy with the girl, Katie, that day. I don't know. But if you want to know if it was deleted, you think you'd take it to get investigated.
Us. I mean, Nolan's no different than anyone else in our group. And I just wish this wasn't pushed on the media as, oh, this is a bunch of white guys that killed a black guy. Or this is, like in the beginning, it was like 4 guys went to a stranded island and dumped Nolan at the island and just left him there. Like even from the beginning, it was just like this thing and no one had facts and they were just pushing this horrible narrative, all lies about everyone. And it's sick. So I wish that would have been completely different. I'm glad I called the Coast Guard. I'm glad I made the first contact within all of this. I'm glad I was the first one that called Christine Wells that night and told her that we haven't heard from her son. And I'm glad that I did all of that, but I hate the way this has been perceived by the media and portrayed. This has like been absolutely horrible with the way and the things that they've said to us and done. But other than that, I mean, there's not much I would change from my point of view and my friend's point of view. I think we did everything right. I know we did nothing wrong.
I also want to say, I think it's so criminal that they took something so anti-racist and flipped it into something super racist. Like they took, this is the definition of anti-racism. I mean, that we did not look at Nolan any different than I looked at him, or even you. This is literally our brother. I mean, like we stated, we did not treat him any different. We didn't treat Trayson any different. We don't treat Trayson any different. And they just flipped it. And I just think that is so wild that they're pushing this thing that they're saying, oh, they want to end racism and all this stuff. Well, they're the one pushing it. They're pushing the racism. And I just think that's kind of crazy.
Morgan, what's your thoughts on this? How does it affect you?
I mean, first I want to say, wish this would have never happened. I wish Nolan would still be here with us today. And, but in my opinion, I think that the media, they shouldn't have pushed a narrative from so early. I think that they should have let the local officials do their job, let them release statements. And then, I mean, the media is obviously going to see that and then do whatever they do. But that's what I trust the local officials.
Ed, with what has transpired, how does that dictate your response? Because you have a 30,000 foot view of all of this stuff, right? You see the way that it could have went, and you see that there's people that instigated the narrative that's out there now. And as a defamation attorney, how does this navigate your tactics?
Sure. And I want to be clear about something tonight. I'm not going to give any particular person any more oxygen than they may have already sucked up. But I will say this. What's been said about Morgan, Jax, and Warren, I'm not going to call them untruths or half-truths or falsehoods. I'm going to call it what it is, lies. So the first thing that's really important here is we're dealing with lies and liars. We're dealing with profiteers. We're dealing with hustlers. And one thing that I've seen since I got here is that Ocean Springs, Mississippi, is a really beautiful place. And the region is very beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful places in the country. And there is just no question. The death of Nolan Wells is a horrendous tragedy. But for the tragedy to then be magnified after his death for no reason other than profit is a disgrace, or what we would call a shanda. And I had the opportunity to go to Horn Island today with Tyler and Warren and Jax. And a lot of people who have been sucking up way more oxygen than they're entitled to have not been to the island. I'm willing to bet that a lot of the hustlers and profiteers and liars have not been to that island. And you have to go to that island. And being at the island today was revelatory. It was really illuminating. It's a very dynamic marine environment, first of all. But when you go to the island, you see instantly that what some people want to be true, what they wish to be true, they're trying to wish it to be true. They're trying to make it true through their lies. It's actually not possible. It is a very, very long and narrow barrier island. It's basically very low sand dunes. And in the particular part of the island that we're dealing with, there are no trees. It's hardly any foliage, hardly any tree cover, hardly any plants, and it's wide open. And on July 4th, there were thousands of people there. There is no possible way that anybody could have committed a murder in broad daylight on a barren, windswept island that is narrow and was just swamped with people that day in broad.
Kelly, we got about 2 minutes to this, and that's exactly where we're going next, my dear. We're going to watch Marine with Brian Etten.
Daylight. It's just not possible given the natural environment there. And that leads me to the next point, which is this. Once you know what the timeline is, when you combine the timeline with the actual dynamics of the island itself, all of the lies completely unravel because it isn't possible. And here's why. Morgan, Warren, and Jax left the island at about 4:30 p.m. That's it. They were gone. That is not open for debate. So that's a fact. They were gone. And at that time, Nolan Wells was still alive. Now, I'm not going to name them out of respect for their privacy, but just as one example, there are two very fine, upstanding members of the Ocean Springs community who saw Nolan Wells at about 10 minutes to 6 p.m.
There you go.
So about an hour.
Well, there you go. I didn't need to show you Nancy Guthrie because now the evidence that I was going to show you, I told you in my remote views, it came out in 2 different remote views that there was a fight Nolan got into with another male.
And a half after these fine young men had left the island. They were gone, departed. Nolan Wells was alive.
You can stay here because in about 30 seconds, that video is coming up next with Brian and Maureen.
And these 2 witnesses, 2 very reliable, very credible, and very upstanding members of the community, they saw Nolan. And they've known Nolan for years. There's no chance that they made a mistake. And by the way, this can be corroborated through other evidence, other eyewitness accounts. And that's the end of it right there. That's before we get into everything else about the situation.
And when I look at this, I feel like there's levels of defamation and areas of defamation.
Okay, we're moving on. That was the point that really mattered. Let's watch Brian Etten now. Was that it just validates what I got. So yes, I will do remote views for more of those. Okay. Now let's watch. This is the newest in Nancy Guthrie, right? Brian just dropped it last night. Interesting because I was supposed to do it and I was going to use Daphne's case files because Daphne is actually the one to report this first, I think, as far as videos go. But the FBI has been back in Nancy Guthrie's home. Why do you think they're back? Do you think this has anything to do? We're going to watch a bit of this and we're going to pull cards until we go into the members live in 40 minutes. So we're going to watch just a few minutes and I'm going to do tarot cards for most of this next 40, well, hopefully half of the next 40 minutes. Do you think that they are back in the Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood because somebody new has come in? Right? Did you all hear that the guy that was running the investigation has been promoted to lieutenant? Like, if that make sense, that's a whole other conversation. And so now we've got somebody else with new eyes coming in, or is this because of the weather? Tell me what you think below and let's watch this.
So much for checking out my show. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks to everybody who has been watching my videos and everybody who has subscribed to my channel. In this episode, I'm getting into the latest with the Nancy Guthrie investigation. There's been a couple of new developments, new things that I've confirmed that I want to get into and really dig into in this episode. I'm going to talk with retired FBI agent Maureen O'Connell, who is a good friend of mine. You guys have seen her on the show a bunch of times. We've really been diving into the Nancy Guthrie case since the very beginning, and I want to get her thoughts on a couple of these new elements. First of all, you guys know I've become friendly with a lot of Nancy's neighbors just because I spend so much time there. And they have confirmed to me that FBI teams have been back in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood in the last couple of weeks. And they know who they are because several of the neighbors, have done interviews with the FBI. The same agents have come to their house several times to talk to them. So they know kind of who who they're looking for. They know who these people are. They know that it's the same agents who are out there initially. And what's interesting is I'm told that the FBI agents were in an area kind of behind Nancy's house. And if you look at Google Earth here, you can see what I'm talking about. There's almost like I don't want to call it an alley, but that's kind of the first word that comes to mind. But there's like a dirt sort of driveway, but it's like a public, it's kind of like an alley that goes in an area sort of in the vicinity of the land behind Nancy's house. And one of the neighbors was telling me that she saw an FBI agent back in that area. I've been back behind Nancy's house.
I actually agree. We can all choose to agree or disagree. There's no harm in having a different opinion here. I actually think it's the new eyes. And I'm really maybe just trying to find hope in a hopeless case. But I really, right now, without pulling cards, that's why I'm so curious to see what the cards say, have a feeling that the new guy in charge may actually do something for this case. Prayers. Let's see what the cards say in a minute.
At one point, I got permission from one of the neighbors to go back there. There's a lot of open land behind her house, and it's kind of hard to describe unless you see it. I'm going to put some of this video up from when I was walking around back there, but you can walk around back there. I mean, it's a little treacherous because there's a lot of cactuses and there's rocks, but you can walk
You're good, my dear. You're good.
and kind of get around. And
I know. I love her.
Have said to me that, when their kids were young, they would like all run around back there and sneak around back there and get to each other's houses kind of through these back little pathways. It would be difficult at night. It's very, very dark. But it is interesting that it seems the FBI is once again looking and interested in that area behind Nancy's house. One of the reasons I'm told could be because of the monsoons. There's been a lot of rain there this time of year. There's like little waterways that form this time of year that are not there at other times when it's not the rainy season.
Hopefully.
And so evidence could have been moved around, that kind of thing. I'm told that's one of the reasons they may have been looking back there. There's also the possibility that they think whoever did this may have left through the back. We know those back doors were propped open from what we've been told. So before I get to my conversation with Maureen, I want to play for you guys when I was back behind Nancy's house, and this was over a month ago. And again, I got permission from one of the neighbors to be there, just so you know, it was on his land. But I was able to get a really good look at the back of the house, which I think is interesting to talk about and show you guys again because of the FBI agents being back there again just within the last couple of weeks. And when I get into this conversation with Maureen, you'll have a better idea of what I'm talking about if I kind of show you this video again. So I want to play this for you just so you can get a visual again of what the back of Nancy's house looks like. All right, I'm going to walk up closer here. And yes, I have permission to be back here, just so you guys know.
Now, this is where I'm going to just say this, and then we're going to keep watching. Just so y'all know what I'm doing with Nancy Guthrie, okay? I've just started doing my tarot again, but I'm going back. Unless there's something new like we're reporting now, I'm going to start this week going back to my original remote views and then doing an updated remote view and then adding the tarot and then adding to see if I can either channel through mediumship or automatic writing. And then I'm going to compare the results of each. So I'm starting that. So I'm going back because I want to review everything. I would be so curious to see, Aquarius, what you got, but I got that they jumped over the back fence very, very early on in this investigation.
You guys know I've kind of gotten to know a lot of the neighbors. So, and I'm not going to go. You see, there's these private property signs. So I'm obviously not going to cross onto Nancy's property, and I want to be
yes, I do.
That way. But this is, again, it's just kind of surreal to be back here because this is the closest that, I mean, I've only seen it from the drone video, but this is the closest I've been able to.
So, Robin, yes, I do. I'm going to have to plan better for next week's live and do less Nolan Wells and more Nancy Guthrie because I talk so much. And it's my first live in 7 months. So I kind of have overly zealously thought I could get more done today. So my apologies. Yeah, exactly. Went to the back that I got. Yes, you got that too. Oh, so cool. Okay. So just so you know, I did meet with the voices for the missing. I did speak with Anna and her husband. We met on StreamYard. She did not want me to tell you when they were going out for safety reasons, but they did go out and they got nothing in the exact location I thought. But here's the thing. I felt where we pinpointed, they literally could be a drive right up. It was very close to where I showed you all. But then I realized there's a reservoir behind that with the water. which I haven't told anybody of. So do I think we're in the approximate area? Yes. Am I in the exact location? Not yet. But the water reservoir has piqued my attention, and I haven't said anything about it because honestly, I needed a bit of a break. Okay. It's a lot to do the remote viewing. It's a lot of, it's whatever. It's a lot of energy. And then I may have mentioned it. I don't remember, but I just getting interested in the water that runs right above where I sent them. Then we have been doing in our members only, if it's you want to join, we're going right after here into that for $2.99 a month. We're members in there learning the remote viewing, and Jiggles and Joan and a few other people somebody said water. And you guys so far in that group, so far, but we've just started. I'm getting a sense that we may not be far, but again, I want to keep exploring that, which is what we're doing. And then when the weather gets better, maybe some of us can go looking when we feel confident in the exact location. So I hope I've answered that. Thank you for the question.
To get to Nancy's backyard, this is obviously her pool area here. You can see that these cameras were put
Yes.
up, which we saw on the drone. These cameras, I believe, are new since remember we saw people come and put cameras up after everything went down. So this is the pool side, and I think there's a gate over here, right down those steps. Right.
See, they jumped over there, knocked the light out, and used that step to go down the side of the house and jump through Nancy's bedroom sliding door.
There, you can't really see it that easily, but like right there is a gate to get into the backyard. It's so awesome when I have a sponsor and I get such positive feedback from you guys. I've received a ton of emails saying ZocDoc really works. And I'm like, yeah, I know, because I use it myself, and I'm happy.
Sorry, Brian, we're gonna
make your thanks to ZocDoc. Thanks to ZocDoc for sponsoring this video and for helping us all take better care of our health. And then if I walk this way, it's all, this is what the brush, that's actually our tent right there, but this is what the area behind Nancy's house looks like. So you can see there's a lot of brush. There's some power lines right above. Very, very dark here at night. And again, I'm going to be careful of the rattlesnakes because everybody's been telling me that. But yeah, let me come around this side here. A lot of cactuses out here. I don't know what animals live in all these holes. There's little holes everywhere back here. But so this is the backside of Nancy's house here.
Okay. So I'm going to pull cards while we're watching this. I'm going to make myself a little bigger, and I'm going to pull cards while we're watching this, and I'm going to pull whether or not this new underling right under Sheriff Nanos, who will now be in charge of this investigation, is going to be helpful to the case or not.
So there's this little patio in the back, which we've seen from the drone. There's this door here, which again, initially thought there was a sliding glass door. It's not a sliding glass door. There's this just regular door with like glass panes on the top. So that's on one side of the overhang. You can see where there's the glass window here, which a lot of people thought was a sliding glass door. It's really a beautiful backyard. And then there's another door with a screen.
That's what I think, but we'll see what
right
the cards say.
On this edge of the
Whoa.
Side of the
okay, the
outdoor
whole
area.
deck fell out on my floor.
I'm told that
so
that
let's
screen
do
was
that
propped open.
right again.
And then in the Savannah interview, she said that that doors, plural, were propped open. But I'm told that that screen right there was propped open. So this is the outdoor area here in the back. Again, it's really just a beautiful house. I keep thinking about the fact that she lived here since the 1970s and all the memories that Savannah must have in the backyard.
One fell out.
And then there's another, this is the casita over here.
This is the problem when you do flippers like I do. I need a bigger
There's
table.
obviously, you can't really see it through the brush. There's obviously a door into the casita, which is like the little guest house, which is next door. So, and again, I have permission to be back here. It's kind of weird being in the back. I'm not really in her backyard. I'm in someone else's backyard, but it's just strange to get this vantage point from the back. And again, this is what it looks like. There's just a ton of like wooded area back here.
I know.
That you can't walk through. There's like little trails. It's not like in Florida where there's swamp or there's forest. It's really thick. It's hard to get through. I mean, you can walk around back here. You will see a ton of cactuses and you could stick yourself. I mean, everything has thorns out here. But it technically is, walkable. And they did put these no trespassing signs up all around the house. So again, I'm not going to get too close. But even from this distance, you can see quite a bit the side of the house here. So that's what the back of Nancy's house looks like. I want to get into my conversation now with Maureen O'Connell about this and also about some other developments that I've learned about and get her take now that we're now more than 6 months since Nancy disappeared. Hey, Maureen, thank you for joining me. It's nice to see you. And congratulations again on your podcast, Big City Crime. I've been checking it out. You guys are doing a great job. So thank you for joining me again.
Thank you. And it's nice to see you. And it's been way too long. I'm not happy about how long it's been, but we've both been swamped. So
I've missed you, but I see you on YouTube now. So it's like I get my Maureen fix.
Yep.
The first thing I wanted to ask you about with Nancy Guthrie is I was just talking yesterday to one of the neighbors who lives nearby.
Okay, we're going to listen to Maureen, but first I want to show you what the cards were that I pulled in response to my question, whether or not the new guy to take over underneath Sheriff Nanos, the other guy that was in charge of the case, has been promoted to lieutenant. And did you hear, who was it? It was, oh my God, the retired detective there that we all love that was talking about the case so early on. What's his name? Bob Kruger. Bob Kruger came on News Nation, was talking about it. And he said it's his friend. He knows this guy and he thinks it's a good thing. Okay. So the cards say he's going to bring better balance to the case. He's going to fight against the resistance. There's going to be some resistance. But he's curious about the case. And there will be growth in the case, which I love. And then I pulled from another deck, what benefit is he going to bring? Okay, what benefit is he going to bring to the case? I get the first one out. Was it the first one out? Maybe not the first one out. Drama and acting. Well, who's acting in this case? Is he going to see through the acting? Pattern and repetition. He's going to see patterns of repetition. Something around the home safety. I so want to call clarifiers. Are they going to go the wrong way? No. And health issues. I'm going to pull a couple of clarifiers and then I'm going to move on and let's listen to Maureen. But I have a feeling that this guy is going to make a difference. I do. Maybe I'm being hopeful. Two of Swords. That's the balancing act we talked about. Two of Swords. Interesting. Let's get some more. One more on, is he going to help move the case forward? Yes or no? Whoops, sorry, those are sloppy falls. One fell on the floor, sloppy. Let me pull it up. Ugh. Emperor fell. If it's meant to come back out, it will. Page of Cups. Page of Cups is your card of an apology. It's young energy. It can be an offer. Let's see. Hang on. How is he going to benefit the case? These ones are so big that they flip out of my hands. How is he going to benefit the case? My deck's going to be a little smaller in size because I have short fingers and I can't manage, as you can tell, very easily with larger decks. Constance King, welcome in. Okay. King of Wands. I mean, he's going to take charge. He's going to be inspired. He's going to take charge. Maybe he's going to get some creative new ways to investigate the case. They got the Page of Cups, which is young energy, maybe a beginner's mind, curious, new. It can be an apology. Two of Swords came out. So again, we are something that may come up that he doesn't see coming if we're reading it from a true crime perspective. Balancing act. But they're all, at the end of the day, there's going to be growth. in this case. Let's just see if I'm right. Anybody disagree? Anybody disagree? I'm going to pull one more. How is he going to help the case? How is he going to help the case? How is he going to help? I don't know if A's son was interviewed. I doubt it. Well, maybe he was. How old is he? We don't really know. Here we go again. 2 of swords, balancing. So there's a lot of 2s. Doesn't see what's coming. That's what we had here. 2 of swords. Doesn't see what's coming behind him. There might be some surprises. We had the balancing card. So he's going to be walking a tightrope. He's going to be walking a tightrope. I don't know what that means. Probably in dealing with nanos. Is he going to be walking a tightrope because he's not I don't know. He's got to be Nanos' grouper, our groupie. Who promoted this guy? Who promotes this guy? Does anybody know? Okay, let's watch this now. I'm hoping the cards are right. I have a feeling this might be what we need. I'm praying I'm right.
And I've seen some other reporting about this, that FBI agents were back out there again. And she knew for sure that it was FBI because she actually recognized one of the guys who came to her door to talk to her within the last couple of weeks. And she said they were specifically looking around. There's a kind of like, I don't know what the right word, it's not an alley, but there's a kind of like a dirt road that goes back in an area behind Nancy's house in between 2 houses. And that she saw them specifically on that road. What should we make of that?
Well, it sounds like they're going over everything again with a fresh set of eyes, which is really important. It's good to do. It's going to be helpful. They may have something in mind where they're trying to check out or verify whether or not what the reporting party said could have happened back there. And it's also really good to familiarize yourself completely with the area that surrounds a crime scene like this, because when you're going over stuff and you're reading older reports or reports that were completed in the past, if you have a really solid understanding of what the topography looks like, what the area is like, how high the pony walls are, or is it a 6-foot wall, so that if someone tells you or someone has said in a statement that, oh yeah, we walked over there, stepped over the back wall and walked right in, you can stand back there as you did yourself on your podcast, I remember. And I think you even said, this wall is not as high as I thought it was. But you also came up with all kinds of good information, Brian. Like, this is not an area where you could just walk someone through in the pitch dark. It's you're going to trip, you're going to cut yourself, you're going to get caught on cacti. It's not like a.
No, but somebody wearing 2 layers of clothes walking in at night might have gone over that way. I also personally think that the staging was the propping up of the planters. That happened, in my opinion, to stage it. Just my opinion.
Walk in the park, so to speak.
And also the monsoons. I was back in Tucson like a week ago, and there were like thunderstorms. Was it different than when I had been there last time? They have like thunderstorms in the summer and really, really heavy rains. When you're looking for evidence, I mean, could that impact things? Could that be a reason that they're going back out there?
Yeah, because water flows downhill or in a relatively typical or in a way that you can anticipate. And there's often a choke point or an area where all that water will pool. It's a good place to go and look for evidence, especially if they're looking for clothing, if they knew what she was wearing or anything like that. So if it was a pink nightgown and they find a pink piece of cloth, it's worth looking into. It will also take a very vast area, and the water will cause whatever is on top to wash in one direction. That's basically what I was trying to say earlier. But so it is a good place. By a choke point, I mean it's an area where things come together. You can have a choke point when it comes to traffic. Like, for example, going in and out of Nancy's house, there's really only 2 choke points that, if you were to sit on surveillance or you'd be looking at those cameras, you'd be looking at these 2 different areas, that type of thing. So the evidence could be rolling in one direction, and that could be very beneficial to the team.
I thought of you the other day when that Wall Street Journal story came out, that deep dive into the investigation. And a lot of it, I would say like 80% of it was stuff that you and I had talked about, that we heard about and figured out kind of early on. And they were just kind of going back through it all again. But there were a couple new things that stood out to me that I didn't know. And one, the thing that made me think of you, because we talked so much about the blood that was found in the front, is the Wall Street Journal reported that initially the deputies who responded thought that it was old blood, like thought that Nancy had had a nosebleed, and that it was like dry blood and that it had nothing to do with her disappearance, that it was like from another event, an innocent event. I don't know why that really stuck with me, because it was so much blood. Like, I guess I'm just trying to get into the mind of an investigator. If you showed up out there, wouldn't you have thought that it was like something that may have had to do with her being?
Okay, we know that's baloney, right? Because I think Juanita, have y'all heard of Juanita? I just started following her yesterday. I tried tagging everyone, sent it to Daphne this morning. That video was yesterday. I tried to tag. Which one, sweetie, are you referring to? But this baloney excuse, this New York Times, I agree with Chris from the interview room so much in that New York Times article after my rant with Savannah is exactly the controlled narrative in this case. There's a controlled narrative in this case. Not surprising, her husband rather runs a PR firm, a media, how does it look to the media firm? Because we know from watching and listening to Chris McDonough and Juanita, who listened to and released the 911 call, that Sheriff Nanos was on that dispatch before the officers arrived on scene and said, watch for the blood on the front porch. Do you think, I mean, it looked like it was wet when Brian showed up 2 days later. How do you believe this story that they didn't see the blood or didn't think it was relevant? Do you think that? Now, Maureen's giving them the benefit of the doubt. I absolutely love her. She needs to stop giving Jim Clemente and Fritz all the credit. Okay, Maureen, because you are just as brilliant. You need to stop always saying my coworkers think this. You are on the Brian Anton show because you are brilliant. You have to give yourself more kudos. That's my Maureen tip. Maureen, okay? We want to hear your mind, not Jim and Fritz's. And actually don't think Fritz might be great. I don't agree with him in some of his analysis of this case, though. Just my opinion. But I don't believe for 1 second that the police officers thought that blood was dry. Come on. It doesn't take a skilled person to see whether it's wet or dry. Do you believe that?
Gone.
I don't.
Well, when you consider that
Exactly.
they haven't had any kidnappings or murders in a very, very, very long time, and I think whatever that number was, over 90% of calls like this end up being someone that just walked off, especially when she's an elderly person. But once the other stuff started coming together, so I could see initially that they would be like, this could be something else, because
love her.
with all that cacti around her, she could easily get cut. She was on blood thinners. You can.
Okay, I gotta say this. I'm sorry. This is what happens when you invite me onto a live. I wish News Nation would use Maureen instead of Jennifer Coffendorfer as their correspondent. No offense to Jennifer Coffendorfer. I just never agree with that woman. And I think Maureen is so much more brilliant. So News Nation, if anybody from News Nation picks this up, please, for the love of God, get Maureen O'Connell on as your correspondent. You need better correspondence, Chris Cuomo. Just saying.
You can bleed like you can't believe when you're in that type of situation. However, when you start adding together the other things that were unfolding in real time, like the information from the family, if in fact the family told her, I mean, we heard Savannah say that her mom could barely make it to the down to the mailbox, but are we sure that Tommaso and Annie said that to the police? If they said that to the police and that's in their written statements, and that's something that will hopefully eventually come out, then yeah, now it's starting to build. Then you get to the back door and then you see the 2 potted plants and the doors propped open. Now it's to every
Me neither,
ratchet this
Nina.
up one notch. Then her car's there.
Oh, Chris Cuomo brings her on all the time. I can't even watch her. I'm sorry. I sound so rude. I literally cannot watch Jennifer Coffendorfer. The minute I see her, I won't watch it. I absolutely disagree with everything fundamentally she ever said. She always does. And when she lost me on the Karen Reed trial, she's never apologized for that. You have to be completely oblivious to think that Karen Reed drove into John O'Keefe. And she just drank too much FBI Kool-Aid, and she just can't for the life of her figure out that there's corrupt cops out there. And I don't like that. I'm like so naive to the real world. You were FBI, for the love of effing God. You should not be naive to corruption within the FBI at this point. Are cops, you know? I just don't think she's got credibility, and I just can't stand that they use her. Sorry, I'm off my soapbox.
Then you see that her Apple Watch is at the end of the bed, and her bed isn't made.
So it's not just me.
Does she often
Not
leave the
just
house
me?
without making her bed?
Ugh.
The answer is no. So you see these things just start to build and build and build, and it should have happened
You
in
too? All of
relatively
you?
quick succession. That they said, you know
Wild.
what, something's going on here. At that point, they should have put up the yellow tape in a very large area. If they thought, as soon as they thought there was foul play, they should have locked it down.
We're also hearing now that there's some new people coming into the investigation, new detectives being cited.
Okay, we're going to keep listening to this. I'm going to go uninterrupted. And in 10 minutes, everybody and a member, we're going to get whooshed over into membership. But if you want to join, it's $2.99 a month, where we're going to remote view. We're trying to locate Nancy as a group in membership. So you don't need to go anywhere. In 21 minutes, we're just going to get redirected. If you're not a member, you can be redirected and asked to join. We'll see you on the other side, and we're not going to interrupt for the next 10 minutes.
In a fresh set of eyes. You and I were texting about that the other day. Is that important? I mean, when you're working on an investigation, and from what I've been told, unfortunately, they've made progress because they're going through the tips, but I don't think they're right now any closer to a specific person or anything like that. Can that be helpful when you get just someone brand new that comes in with a fresh set of eyes, or can that be frustrating if you're already working on the case because it's someone who doesn't know anything?
Both. But the fact of the matter is, like, even in the FBI, probably especially in the FBI, because we rotate around a lot. So you end up, when a person rotates off your squad, they divvy up those cases amongst the other investigators on that squad. So you'll end up with an old case. You always have at least one old, what we would call like an old dog, where this case, and it wouldn't be something like this. I think something like this is unique in that your whole office potentially could be focused on this. Could be trying to help with this. So could it be frustrating? Yes. Is it good to have a new set of eyes? Yes, because new people have new skill sets. You might be a guy that's really good at electronics. You might be someone that's unbelievable at, like, if you work narcotics and stuff, like some of these detectives have, these narcotics.
June, sweetie, I think you're wrong. The one that was promoted was the one that changed his name. He's gone now. He's been promoted to lieutenant. So I think you've got that backwards, my dear. But I could be wrong, but I think that's incorrect. And Bob Krieger came on and said that he knows the new guy and he thinks it's a good thing for the case. And I don't think Bob Krieger would support a Nanos the other guy.
Guys are scrappers. I worked narcotics for many, many years here in Los Angeles. They're some of the most resourceful detectives you can find, and they are dogged detectives. So if you get a guy like that who's got street smarts, street savvy, he's a scrapper, he's a go-getter, he's a honey badger. I mean, and then you put him with someone that's just a technological genius, God only knows what you're going to come up with, but hopefully it's going to be something good. And as far as not knowing who the person is, they may very well have a really solid idea who the perpetrator or perpetrators are, but without enough evidence to actually put them away, you have to keep your mouth shut about it. You can't run your mouth. Those days are gone.
What do you mean by run your mouth?
I mean, as a law enforcement agency, you can't say so-and-so is a person of interest and we think that this is the case for the following reasons. You're just going to get sued. Podcasters are going to get sued, so everyone is really, really cautious, even though there may be a pretty solid general consensus as to who it is. But then again, we've seen all these cases where, like that Chandra Levy case, they thought it was the congressman for a long, long time. And then they realized it was this other offender that was in the park doing very similar things to other women.
Do you think like the 6 month mark? It seemed like a lot kind of happened within a week. You had
It really
the note,
did.
yeah, the note. It was so quiet for a while, and then you had the reporter who released the notes. Then you had Savannah put out 2 messages, the video message and then the written message, and then you had the sheriff put out his copy of the notes, the actual notes we saw, and then sort of the ideas for what people should look for.
I love Brian. I just think he's a little naive sometimes. I think he's the one that changed his name. I said I wouldn't stop, but is above LT level. The new LT has recently been reprimanded for screwing up crime scenes, yet got promoted because he has climbed in Dennis's pocket. Really? I thought that was different. That's not what I heard from. That's not what I understood it. That's not what I understood. But I'm going to have to check that for everybody.
Do you, just with all your expertise, Maureen, do you feel like we're in a moment right now? Like, are they going to drum
I do.
something up?
I do. I really do. And it's interesting because, as you know, Jim Fitzgerald, the retired FBI profiler and forensic linguistics expert, he has been saying from the beginning that this is the pre-incident. These are the pre-incident indicators you may have seen. This is the post-incident behavior that you'd likely see in a situation like this. Jim Clemente was saying the exact same thing. They were in lockstep, those two. And those two have unbelievable experience in violent crime. So I felt, I was wondering why, and I even said this on your show very early on, why is the FBI not putting out a profile? They've done it for so many big cases, and it's been very, very helpful in the past. And lo and behold, when these notes came out on the 6-month anniversary, as you just mentioned, they came out with what appeared to be pretty much an identical set of marching orders that Fitz told us about a long time ago, where he said exactly what you should be looking for. Will this person change their appearance? Did they change their appearance shortly after Nancy disappeared? Did they leave town unexpectedly for a made-up emergency or something that couldn't be verified easily? Were they obsessed with the whole Nancy Guthrie story? But I would say there's a lot of your viewers are obsessed with this case, as I think you and I are, because it's just a real head scratcher.
Yeah, and you're right. And so much of what people are talking about now are things, I mean, not to give us a pat on the back, but are things we talked about so much like in the first couple of months. And you mentioned Fitz. I mean, he did give this specific, he really wanted to do that episode too, where he gave a specific list of what people could be looking out for, which is now essentially what the sheriff put out.
Just remind everybody that we are going to be forwarded. Hopefully it all works out in 5 minutes to the members only live stream. I've already created the members live stream. This is supposed to zoom us all over there for members only. And if you want to join, it's $2.99 Canadian. So in case it doesn't happen, I'll have to fix. But do you think, what did I want to ask you now? I forgot because it's something she just said.
And you mentioned Fitz. I mean, he did give this specific, he really wanted to do that episode too, where he gave the specific list of what people.
Oh, do you think the FBI are watching? Because they came out after 6 months and gave what the person should be looking for. Why would you do that now? You're saying, hey, did you notice change in behavior? Why would you say, sorry, everybody, you're not supposed to have ads on lives. I'm so sorry. Why would you have, sorry, I've just learned because I'm in the YouTube creator community, exclusive community. YouTube changed that. You have to pay for premium for no ads. Sorry. That's a YouTube thing. So yes. So why would do you think that wait 6 months to come out with that statement? I think, just curious to see what you think, that the FBI might be listening and following things, getting ideas. I don't know. I have a feeling that the FBI crew are also maybe not so experienced. Just my sense. Just remember, we're going to get forwarded in a few minutes. If you're a member, if not, you can join.
Could be looking out for, which is now essentially what the sheriff put out 6 months later. I thought the one was interesting, and I can't remember exactly the way it was
Nina.
worded,
Welcome
but it was
in.
like someone who's talking about the Nancy
in.
Guthrie investigation a lot, or specifically avoiding talking about it.
I think it's $1.99 USD, honey. I don't know. If you click on the link, I'll put the link in. Jennifer always takes up for the family regardless of the evidence. Yeah, exactly. I think they receive new tips. Absolutely. Could be that too. Let me see if I can get the link for you here. while we listen.
Which would be kind of true if you knew someone and like they didn't, and you were already kind of suspicious and they never wanted to talk about Nancy Guthrie. I guess that would be kind of a telltale sign.
Or you could see that guilty look on their face when you start talking about it and they just kind of turn away and I'll see you later or whatever. Why are they getting so nervous? But the thing I thought was really interesting that Fitz said was, I believe it was either on your show or on one I was on with him, but he said that he does not believe that the BAU currently has a forensic linguist on board, which I was actually shocked by that statement. I didn't see it get much play, but did that interest you? Did you notice that?
I didn't hear that until you told me. But I mean, it seems kind of surprising. I mean, you were in the FBI for decades. Like, why wouldn't they? Wouldn't you expect that they would?
Because you could see, or I can imagine, a number of different cases where having a forensic linguist would just be a brilliant tool in your toolbox and one that you might use in a number of different areas. So to hear that they may not have one on board, I found that very interesting. And he's mentored a lot of those people that are there now, as has Jim Clementi.
Yeah, and we had Fitz's wife on,
Natalie, I love her. She is
great. So interesting, the things she found in the notes, like the sentence structure and the commas, things that I would have never known. And she really believes that they're written by the same person based on when she does that deep dive into the grammar. And when she showed me where the commas were, they were in similar places in both notes.
I agree with you. And I didn't agree with them initially that it was the same author because the tenor and tone were so different. And one seemed like cool, whereas the second one was like soft and conciliatory and trying to, soothe someone. So I didn't think that it was the same person, but they had a very compelling argument for why it was. And I agree with you. It really did make me think, and it really brought a lot of things to light that I had not considered before that. But she's brilliant, and she's one of those people who I think Fitz is too, where just when you're talking to him, you can almost hear those wheels clicking in their brain. She's so smart.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, with Savannah last week putting out, and the week before, the video and the message on the actual 6-month mark, do you think that will do something? Like, could that make the person feel bad and maybe send another note or open up a line of communication?
Well, I'm going to go back to another line that Fitz said, and that was, I believe, on your show, where he said basically that her whole video could be distilled down to one short phrase, and that is "you won." It really was she was holding up a white flag.
Okay, so the redirecting didn't work. Here's the link. So I'm going to end this one. If you get redirected, good. If not, and you want to go to members, this is the link. It's already been posted. So my apologies, technology didn't work. So yeah, $2.15. Thank you, Nina. YouTube had to adjust it because of the exchange rate. So it's $2.99 Canadian, $2.15 USD, $1.99 a month euros. Okay. So I'm going to end this now, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned for the next one. We're going to do more Nancy Guthrie next one and a little less of the next case. Probably going to be Lindsay Clancy unless there's something major in Nolan Wells. Here is the link again for anybody that wants to join. Welcome into the 2 new members that joined. So I will see you there. I'm going to go there right now. I'll see you there in 2 minutes. Love and light. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Truly, truly enjoyed it. We're going to keep doing this every week. Look out for the next one next week. Probably Monday, but if Tuesdays is better, we'll move it. So we'll start with next Monday. See you at 4 next week.